Shivakumar sir, are you able to hear us?
Able to hear me? Is
Yes,
it audible?
yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, yes. So welcome one and all, and to the beautiful session of Hanuman's deeds and the completion of the coronation ceremony yesterday, which we had the Pattabhishekam after Anjaneya's visit to Lanka and return back and giving the confidence to Rama that Sita is safe and we have to bring her back soon. And also the coronation ceremony when they all returned back to Ayodhya and had the Pattabhishekam of Rama beautifully done. We could see that yesterday and being done, and the precious gifts also given thereafter, and all the guests returning back to their abodes in their respective abodes, and then the establishment of the Ramarajya, which was around 10,000 and odd years, happily done with hundreds of Ashwamedha yagas and lot of gifts and presents being given to all the pious people around, in and around of Ayodhya. Here, after the coronation ceremony, and even before that, when you see the incidents which have happened all through in Anjaneya's this thing, the visit to Sri Lanka Dahana, and returning back, you could see the various impossible things which Anjaneya brought out to possibilities, and then the possibilities which were made into a vision as infinite possibilities which were created and which came to reality by his karma, the presence of mind, the might, the confidence, the inner strength, the accomplishment sense in him, and also that to be brought to the reality of deeds and the success story thereon. We could see that, and in each one of us, how he has instilled the qualities of this, and how we are supposed to bring in and bring out these qualities in us in a conscious effort as everyday exercise to make us more, to take it forward to reality of success, enjoy the success story, bring the success story to reality, and achieve the purushartha in the right sense when we are really listening to Ramayana, when we are reciting Ramayana, when we are reciting Sundarakanda every day. It is our purpose and it is our mission to take ourselves with this confidence and accomplishment sense and the inner strength, the Atma Shakti inside us to be harnessed, to bring it to Purushartha, just like the very embodiment of Purushartha, who is the Purushottama Rama. So let us try to imbibe the qualities of Anjaneya and Rama and become a Purushartha, achieve the Purushartha and become each one of us a Purushartha Rama in us. With this, I begin with the Jayapanchaka slokas here, which were done, especially the advent of Jayapanchaka. Jaya indicates victory. Can I have the first slide here? Before that, the beautiful, have this beautiful picture of Pattabhishekam, the coronation ceremony which we had yesterday of Rama. You can see the whole sadhas of Vanaras, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, Ayodhya people, all the Devas, and Shatrughna holding the Chatra, as we had seen in the sloka, the beautiful Chatra, the umbrella, over the Pattabhishekam, the throne. And you can see Sugriva and Vibhishna, both sides holding the whisk, the fan, along with the brothers. The Bharata Shatrughna holding the this thing, and Lakshmana Swami, Lakshmana and Bharata being on either side, and Vibhishna and Anjaneya below, as devout as the best Dhuta of Rama, holding the legs, the Paduka, Pada of Rama. You can see this beautiful painting, the Pattabhishekam painting of olden days, which is none other than Ravi Varma, Raja Ravi Varma doing this painting. Let us go to the advent of Jaya Panchaka. But Jaya means victory in Sanskrit, and Panchaka is 5, number 5, Panchamam, Panchaka. So five slokas of victory. What was the advent of this? In Sundarakanta, Jayapanchaka is done after Sundarakanta to give the courage, the strength, the confidence, the determination, and the favor of luck, which leads to success. Favor of luck happens only when you have the sense of the Atma Shakti inside you to bring it out, the inner strength and the courage in you, and the confidence to be instilled in each one of us to bring in the accomplishment sense when we do the karma in the right way, and plan out and chalk out our deeds to get into the victory in reality to achieve the Purushartha. These were the slokas uttered by Hanuman when he was in there in Lanka to instill the fear in the Rakshasas, first of all to shake them and get the victory over them and express and bring out the fame of Rama and Sita and Lakshmana Swami and the whole lot of the Vanara army, and how the war is going to come upon them and how they are all going to be crushed. Mashaki Krita Rakshasam, as we had seen yesterday, to be crushed, and thus instilling the fear in them, the success which could be the created, the seeds of success which he could create in the heart of Rama and the other Vanaras, and how he could create the fear, the seeds of fear in the heart of Rakshasas, vice versa, and achieve the Purushartha and achieve the success. So this is what Anjaneya himself has brought out with the slokas describing the valor of Rama, the importance of Rama, the greatness of Rama, and instill the fear in the Rakshasas to be crushed and to achieve the success ultimately. The Jaya Panchaka slokas here, the advent of them, which I described now, and the advent of them is described, and the slokas following that is being recited today to bring in all the Jayam, the victory in us, not only the 5 victories, all types of victories which we, each one of us want to in our goals. But for that, we have to instill in us the confidence, which Anjaneya Swami is doing it through this Jaya Panchaka slokas, which we could recite possibly every day, which hardly takes few minutes, so that we get the instilling of this confidence in us. Because always they say when you chant, sound waves have the importance, sound waves have the effect on you, and when you keep chanting it, it gives you more concentration. The first day you chant, you just chant it mechanically. The second day you chant, slowly the human mind, the chitta, the receptors, the indriyas make you just notice certain words in it, which becomes familiar to you. The third day you chant, it becomes more familiar. The fourth day you chant, you get a little concentration. This is how it goes. So it's a continuous exercise to instill the confidence, and then you feel a comfort. Then it becomes convenient and comfortable for you to chant it very often. So it becomes a practice. That is how you end up in getting more confidence. This is one methodology of meditation which I am describing here, the yogic dhyana mudra Anjaneya, which he showed in each one of the temples. Now coming to the first sloka of the Jaya Panchaka here. Can I have the slide for Jaya Panchaka? This sloka again here in this slide, you can see instills the confidence and the inner strength and the accomplishments sense, and bring it to reality, the courage in you. Now coming to the first sloka, Jayatyati bhalo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavenabhi Palitaha. Jayatvati bhalo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavenabhipalitaha. Jayatya Atibhalo Ramo, the great Atibhalo, mighty, the great mighty heroic Rama. Jayam, victory to Rama. Lakshmanascha, to Lakshmana Swami, who is also Mahabalaha, who is very mighty and very strong, mighty, with mighty strength. Victory to both of them, Rama and Lakshmana. Jayatyati bhalo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo. You can see here also in this sloka something very important. How Anjaneya Swami has been very clear in his way of, the hierarchical order, how he has placed it in the right hierarchical order, and how it has to be followed by everyone in each one of our lives, even in the family, even in a corporate world, how it has to be followed. Enge yaar enge irukkanumo and edathila irundha ellam saukyame, as if the theory goes. That is what is shown here, just like the story of Vasuki and Garuda. Enge yaar irukkalamo and edathila irundha ellam saukyam. Everything is good when each one is in their own place where they have to be placed. So it is important to place people in the place where they are to be put in. So Jayatyati bhalo Ramo, the hierarchical order, First Rama, then Lakshmana. Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha. Raja Jayati Sugrivo. Then comes his own Raja, Raja Sugriva, the head of Vanaras. Raghavena Bhipalitaha. All being done, the Palana being done by Rama. All of this, whether it is Lakshmana or Sugriva, the whole Vanara Sainya and Anjaneya, being the Palanam, the control being done by the heading being done by Rama. So let victory come to Rama, Lakshmana, and the Sugriva, the Vanaradhipa, who is all being controlled, who is all being, rather than controlled, who is all being taken care of by Raghava. Raghava is again Rama's synonym. Jayatyati balo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavena Bhipalitaha. Let us have the beautiful temple as usual associated with this sloka, the Sri Kodandaramar temple in Valmikipuram near to Tirupati. Why Tirupati? This particular temple is very significant in the legend of Ramayana, and this place is known as Vayalpadu in Andhra. It is in Andhra, Chittoor district of Andhra, and this temple has been taken over by TTDD, that is the Tirumala Devasthanam, in the year 1997, and then onwards, lot of pilgrimage has been done by devotees here. And this temple is significant in the legend of Ramayana because after, in the Treta Yuga, after Rama's period, Jambavan, the great Vanara, Jambavan whom we have heard in Ramayana, was the one who had built this temple himself in Treta Yuga. Such a powerful, such a old and such a Aidhikyam the temple in the Chittoor district of Andhra Pradesh. Valmikipuram, as it is known, from the name itself you can make out that Valmiki, the great saint who wrote Ramayana, and that is why it is known as Valmikipuram. Here, near to this temple is on the background, you can see in the slide also that you have a hill, Konda. They call it in Telugu as Konda. Konda means hill, and the Konda Paiki, above the hill, is where Valmiki is supposed to have, in this hill, is supposed to have written Ramayana. He sat there and was writing Ramayana, and he was guarded by the temple of Veerabhadra, the Bhutakana, in the hill, who was guarding this area. So it is known as Valmikipuram and very significant in Ramayana. And this temple also very significant by being built by none other than, consecrated by none other than Jambavan in Treta Yuga. And later on, it was taken over in 1997 by TTDD, which is running this temple so beautifully with all the amenities and the facilities, and assuring good darshan to all the devotees who come here. Let us take the blessings of the Jaya Vijaya Rama, to the Purushottama Rama here, along with Anjaneya Swami. And here Rama is also known as the Pratapa Rama. And in this particular temple, the significance is you can see the Pattabhishekam kolam of Rama. Exactly the coronation ceremony is what is seen in the main idol in the Moolasthanam, with Rama, Sita seated on the throne, and Lakshmana and Shatrughna and Bharata and all the Vanaras, and especially Hanuman being in his Paduka, which is seen in the Moolasthana as the idol. So this is the Pattabhisheka kolam which happened, which is being installed and consecrated by Jambavan in this temple in Andhra Chittoor district in the Treta Yuga. Let us take the blessings of Rama, Sita, and the whole Bharata Shatrughna with Anjaneya Swami, Ramachandra Murthy with Anjaneya Swami here, and be bestowed with all the victory in each one of us in all our deeds. Let me have this sloka once again here. Jayatvati balo Ramo Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavena Bhipalitaha. Rama, 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 Rama. We go to the second sloka, the Jaya Panchaka sloka, the second sloka. Coming to the, as I had said, the hierarchical order, the delegating order, the hierarchical order of things which Anjaneya has enlisted here, and what we have to follow in our day-to-day life. Dasoham kosalendrasya Ramasya klishta karmanaha Hanuman Shatru Sainyanam Nihanta Marutatmajaha. Marutatmajaha, the son of the Lord Wind, Vayu, Hanuman. Marutatmajaha, Hanuman, the son of the Lord Wind, Hanuman, myself. Shatru Sainyanam Nihanta. God killed all the Shatru Sainya, all the Shatrus, all the Rakshasas by being what? Dasoham Kosalendrasya, I being the devote Dasoham, the Dasa of Kosalendra, the Kosalendra, that is Rama, Kosala's dynasty, Rama, Ramachandra, Ramasya Klishta Karmanaha, accomplishing the task of Rama, accomplishing the task ordered by Rama to me. I, Hanuman, the Dasa of Rama, who was from the Kosalendra, Kosala dynasty, was ordered to do the Shatru Sainyanam Nihanta, to crush off the Shatru Sainya, and I being the son of Vayu, Marutatmajaha. Dasoham Kosalendrasya Ramasya Klishta Karmanaha Hanuman Shatru Sainyanam Nihanta Marutatmajaha. Rama, 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 Rama. Here we have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka. Here you can see the Jnanapuri Anjaneya Swami Alangudi, near to Alangudi. You can see in the slide towards the left side, Alangudi Anjaneya being installed. The installation ceremony which was happening, that is what is seen in the slide. And you can see the idol in focus, the face, the Mukhamandala here in the right side here. Jnanapuri Anjaneya in Alangudi, near to Alangudi. Jnanapuri Anjaneya actually is the Mangala Murti Anjaneya, as it is known, Mangala Murti, a 32 feet height idol in a single stone and around 60 tons in weight. Mangala Vishwarupa Anjaneya Maruti idol, and it was consecrated in the Tiruvarur district, in the Mangalam village in Kumbakonam, Tiruvarur district, Alangudi road in Tiruvarur district. The Jnanapuri Anjaneya Swami Alangudi, the Mangalamurti Vishwarupa Anjaneya. Let us take the blessings of this Anjaneya and again have the sloka here associated with this particular temple. Let us get the Jnana, as the word indicates here, Jnanapuri, the land of Jnana, the land of enlightenment. Let us all get enlightened more towards the confidence installation inside ourselves for a day-to-day way to achieve all the success. So let me have the sloka here again. Dasoham Kosalendrasya Ramasya Klishta Karmanaha Hanuman Shatru Sainyanam Nihanta Marutatmajaha. Rama, 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 Rama. Let us have the third sloka of Jaya Panchaka to give us further victory in all our endeavors. न रावण सहस्रं मे युद्धे प्रतिफलं भवेत् न रावण सहस्रं मे युद्धे प्रतिफलं भवेत् रावण सहस्रम 1,000 Ravanas not equivalent प्रतिफलम न रावण सहस्रम मे युद्धे, in the war 1,000 Ravanas are also not equal to me. Ravanam na Ravana sahasram me yuddhe pratibhalam bhavet shilabhistu prahastaha padapaischa sahasrashaha. Thousands of Ravanas wielding thousands of trees and shila vistu, stones, vistu prahasta praharataha, wielding thousands of stones by Ravana, 1,000 Ravanas, is not equivalent to my strength, would not be any match to my strength. Hanuman says that very clearly with the confidence instilled in him after praising Rama and wishing victory to Rama and Lakshmana and Sugriva likewise, which we saw in the earlier sloka. And size up clearly your abilities against the task you are facing. So we have to size up our abilities clearly, have the clarity of thought, get the confidence instilled. This is what shows here. Anjaneya Swami displays his confidence in himself, the Atma bala, the Atma bala, which he brings himself and tells himself that he is confident. That is very important. We tell ourselves we are confident enough to bring, first of all, the confidence in us. We should ourselves first love ourselves first to know and love the world. Then only you will be able to, when you are not loving yourself, how you will be able to give the love and confidence to others. So you have to first love yourself and the confidence, the Atma in you and the Paramatma inside you, to bring in the positivity to the other people and influence the society in the right path. Na Ravana sahasram me yuddhe pratibhalam bhavet shilabhistu praharataha padapaischa sahasrashaha. Rama 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 Rama. We have the beautiful temple of Shelva Anjaneyar in Chennimalai, Erode district of Tamil Nadu, here as a beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka. The Shelva Anjaneyer temple here in Chennimalai. Chennimalai, as we have heard, many of us have heard, is very significant in terms of its siddhas. Just like Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu, where they say lot of siddhas reside even today. Chennimalai and Kollimalai and this type of malais, the hills, are said to have, even Marudamalai, are said to have a lot of siddhas still residing in it. Siddhamalai. And they also say there is a lot of herbal plants and rare plants and herbs and trees there in this malais, which are used for medicinal purposes still, and it's being maintained by the government also. Chennimalai is supposed to be the place where Anjaneya, during his search for Sita Mata to proceed towards Lanka, had his journey on the way, this place where he took rest for some time. So Chennimalai is significant in the legend of Ramayana also, where Anjaneya had his, when he was passing through to meet and have the darshan of Sita in Lanka, he had a time to rest here for a few seconds. So Chennimalai is significant in the legend of Ramayana, where Anjaneya is supposed to have passed through. And Chennimalai is a place where all the Siddhas reside even today. And here we have the beautiful idol of Anjaneya, around 5.5 feet in height in Panchaloka. Usually all the temples of Anjaneya, where we see all through the world, we either see it in a saligrama stone or a stone idol, or it is with something related to full of saligrama, a stone or a saligrama stone. Not where we have a Panchaloka Vigraha, which is the only place in this temple where we have Panchaloka idol as a Mulavar, not Utsavar. In many temples, we have the Utsavar as Panchaloka. Here, it is a Mulavar, which is a Panchaloka in 5.5 feet height, and it is almost to the tune of 650 kilos in weight, the Panchaloka idol, which has been installed here. And this temple has been constructed, though the Aidhihyam of Anjaneya passing through that path has been there in Ramayana Kala itself. The temple as such has been constructed around 500 and odd years before, and the idol of Panchaloka has been installed here. The Shelva Anjaneya temple, Chennimalai. As the name indicates, the Shelvam in Tamil means Aishwaryam, that is the prosperity, the auspiciousness, the prosperity. Let all the prosperity and victory come to all of us by the Shelva Anjaneya's blessings here from Chennimalai. Let us take his blessings here in Chennimalai and get back to the sloka again to get the effect of the prosperity in us. न रावण सहस्रम में युद्धे प्रतिफलम भवेत् शिलाभिस्तु प्रहरतः पादपैश्च सहस्रशः न रावण सहस्रम में युद्धे प्रतिफलम भवेत् शिलाभिस्तु प्रहरतः पादपैश्च सहस्रशः. Rama 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 Rama. Let us get to the fourth sloka of Jaya Panchaka, giving us further victory in our endeavors. Let us continue with the journey of victory. The fourth sloka. Ardhayitva Purim Lankam Abhivadhya Ardhayitva Purim Lankam Abhivadhya Jamaitilim Samruddhar तो गमिष्यामि Mishitam Sarvarakshasam Ardhayitva Purim Lankam Abhivadya cha Maithilim. So I will leave only after completing my task of annihilating Lanka, Ardhaitva, destroying Lanka, Purim, Lankam, Abhivadya cha Maithilim. After meeting Maithili, Abhivadya, doing the Namaskara to her in person, that is the the confidence in Anjaneya that he is sure that he is going to accomplish the task, and he is telling himself and assuring Rama and the Vanaras that yes, and Jambavan and all the Vanaras, saying that yes, when he is taking up the journey to go to Lanka, he is saying, yes, I will meet Sita, I will do the Namaskara before her in person and destroy the city of Lanka. Ardhayitva Purim Lankam Abhivadhya cha Maitinim Samruddha Dharto Gamishyami, crossing the oceans, Samudra, crossing the oceans, and Gamishyami, I will travel. Mishitam, Sarvarakshasam, Mishitam, crushing all the Mashaki-krita Rakshasam, Mishitam, crushing all the Rakshasas, Sarva Rakshasam, thus achieving and accomplishing the task. So I will leave only after completing my task. Task orientation, task management is what is seen here. First, we saw the hierarchical order, hierarchy and the importance of it, and how to delegate it, and then how to instill the confidence in us, and to view and visualize the deed in front of us, the task, and then how to accomplish the task. I will leave only after completing my task of annihilating Lanka right in front of the eyes of all of you Rakshasas, and paying my respectful obedience, the namaskaras to the reassured Sita, have the resolve to accomplish the goal to its end. So he created and instilled the fear, seeds of fear in the Rakshasas by saying this. And at the same time, he created the confidence in the Vanaras and Rama by saying that definitely I will go and see Sita in front of my eyes and do the namaskara to her. So it was both the way, vice versa, which was done by Anjaneya to create one side the success and confidence in the Vanara Sainya, the other side, the fear and the seeds of fear and this defeat in the minds of the Rakshasas. See how multitasking has been done by Anjaneya in the Jaya Panchaka slokas. You can see that here very clearly. So this is what we are supposed to do, multifunctional tasking, hierarchical analysis, to task confidence, to task accomplishment, and how to take the task and plan out, chalk out, and then coming to multitasking of doing it and putting it into reality. This is what is seen in this all these 4 slokas here. Ardhayitva Purim Lankam Abhivadhya cha Maitinim Samardhar Dharto Gamishyami Mishitam Sarvarakshasam. Rama, 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful temple of brick fields here, the Anjaneya, the Hanuman temple in Kuala Lumpur, which I had chance of visiting many a times when I traveled to Kuala Lumpur, which is a beautiful temple in the brick fields, Jalan brick fields area in Kuala Lumpur, which is very near to the famous Murugan temple of Brickfields, the main temple there. And just near to that is this temple, which is a beautiful temple of Pacha Anjaneya. Pacha Anjaneya. You can see Anjaneya in the green color here, nestled at the Brickfields in Kuala Lumpur, featuring stunning murals. There are a lot of murals related to Hanuman's journey to Lanka and the Ramayana in this particular temple. And here you can see a different type of Hanuman installed. He is in the sitting posture, Asana Grahastha Anjaneya, and in a green color, emerald green color here. And you can see the Anjaneya here blessing the devotees, the Gada in one of his hands. And in the same temple, you have another Anjaneya idol near to this, 2 Anjaneyas, who is in a meditative pose, the Dhyana Anjaneya. A beautiful Marakata Pachai Anjaneya here, blessing us all with the Pachai in itself indicates the prosperity sign, as we see. Vetalai Cholartha kuda Anjaneyarku solluvom Vetala Malai, adu vandu prosperity. Vettala malai, BP எல்லாம் கம்மி பண்ணறதுக்கு தான் அந்த காலத்துல they used to say tambulam, you have tambulam methane, which gives reduction in your, which controls your BP, which controls your BP. Varelai, which controls and gives you lot of uh, carotene to your eyes. That's why they say you have to eat in the varelai in olden days. So all this here you can see in the Pachai Anjaneer, Marakata Pachai Anjaneer, Pachameni Ponda Anjaneer, blessing the devotees with all the Aishwaryam here in brick fields. The Jalan brick fields, the road, the street brick fields, as it is known in Kuala Lumpur area. Let us take the blessings of Anjaneya from this temple associated with Ramayana here, and where the continental drifts in those days, as I had mentioned earlier in our sessions, has not been there in the earlier days. And later on, over the Earth's major changes, when the continental drifts happened, these all were separated into different countries and different areas, with the seas being making lot of continental drifts there, where the continents were drifted away by the seas. So let us have the blessings of Brickfield, Tanjaneya, Hanuman from Kuala Lumpur, the Pacha Maragata Anjaneya, and again have the sloka here associated with this particular temple. अर्धयित्वा पुरीं लङ्काम् अभिवाद्य च मैथिलीं समृद्ध धात्रो गमिष्यामि मिशितां सर्वरक्षसां. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the final sloka of Jaya Panchaka, the 5 victories in us. And here we have it. Tasya सन्नाद शब्देन, तस्य सन्नाद शब्देन ते अभवन् भयशङ्किताः ददृशुश्च हनुमन्तं सन्ध्यामेघं मिवोन्नथं तस्य सन्नाद शब्देन ते अभवन् भयशङ्किताः ददृशुश्च हनुमन्तं सन्ध्यामेघमिव नोत्तमम् तस्य सन्नाद शब्देन. A shiver of fear passed down the spines of the Rakshasas, Bhayashankitaha, the Rakshasas. Why? Hearing the sound of Hanuman's, the roar of Hanuman's voice. Sannada Shabdena, Hanumantasya Sannada Shabdena, Bhayashankitaha Rakshasaha. The Rakshasas had the fear. Hanuman appeared to them like a mighty black cloud. Sandhya Megam, the twilight cloud, fall on a dark night. Meghanvita Sandhya Megamiva Uttamam, like the Sandhya Megam, the dark cloud, the black cloud, the mighty cloud above them. Hanuman appeared to them, and the fear crept inside their minds, the sense of defeat, the seeds of defeat had already been planted inside the Rakshasas' minds. The shiver of fear passed down the spines of the Rakshasas, hearing the roaring, reverberating sound of Hanuman's voice. Hanuman appeared to them like a mighty black cloud ahead of a fall of a dark night, the twilight Megha, the Sandhya Megha, descending heavily upon them. The Durduscha Hanumantam Sandhya Megam Ivanottamam. So that will shake the ground and makes path for you. So how it was Bhayashankitaha Rakshasaha. Tatsya Sannada Shabdena Te Abhavan Bhayashankitaha Dadurduscha Hanumantam Sandhya Megamivanottamam. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka, which is the Veeranjaneya temple. As you see here, the Veeranjaneya temple in Mulbagal, Kolar district of Karnataka again, where this is a very Aidhihyam Vain, that this is a very famous temple in terms of its antiquity, where it is supposed to have been the Pratishta, Arjuna Pratishta. Arjuna, who has done the Pratishta here of Anjaneya, this temple where Arjuna has done the Pratishta of Anjaneya after the Mahabharata war. Everyone is aware that Arjuna had Anjaneya as the Pataka, the flag, the Dhwaja Pataka in his chariot during the Mahabharata war, where he had Krishna as the Partha Sarathi, Partaka Sarathi. He was the Sarathi, Krishna as the Sarathi leading the chariot, and Anjaneya guiding him for victory. Jaya Anjaneya in the Pataka, Dhwaja in the chariot. And that Dhwaja was consecrated here by Arjuna, who did the Pratishtha here, supposed to have been done the Pratishtha after the Mahabharata war when he passed through this way to establish Hanuman, to install Hanuman in this temple. So the Dhwaja of Arjuna is the idol here. The idol here in Mulbagal, in Kolar district of Karnataka, of Veeranjaneya Swami temple, is the Dhwaja of Arjuna, the Anjaneya and the Dhwaja of Arjuna, and Arjuna Pratishtha. So this temple is as old as Dwapara Yuga, because Mahabharata war happened in Dwapara Yuga. So 5,000 and odd years before, established by, consecrated by none other than the Pancha Pandavas, one of them, Arjuna, the most prominent Pandava, Arjuna, who consecrated this temple, established installed the idol of this temple. And the eastern door, as it is known as Mulbagal in Kannada, Mulbalagu is the meaning which gives as the eastern entrance. The main door is towards the eastern entrance of this temple. The main Gopuram, the main door, and Mulbagal, Veeranjaneya Swami temple. And here we have another significant importance for this temple, where we have in this same temple the Pratishtha of Sri Venkateshwara Swami, just like Tirupati. In the same way, Venkateshwara Swami, the same height of an idol, with all the Alankara, Padmavati Taya, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, all these idols installed there, none other than by the sage Vasishta. Sage Vasishta, one of the Saptarishis, who is also very significant. And that way this temple becomes very significant and important in terms of its divinity and antiquity. And let us take all the blessings from this temple, which is also known as the Shatakavatpuri temple. Shatakavatpuri temple, Veeranjaneya Swami temple in Mulbagal, the Pratishtha of which was done by none other than Arjuna, one of the prominent Pandavas. So again, we come to the sloka associated with this beautiful divine temple of antiquity. Tasya sannada shabdena te abhavan bhaya shankitaha dadurduscha hanumantam sandhya meghamivanotamam. Here, there is one interesting fact to note. If you recollect, we were saying that Arjuna did the Pratishtha after Mahabharata war, and Arjuna's Pataka in the chariot was Hanuman, right? The same Hanuman who guided him to get victory over the Mahabharata war with the Vegam and the might in his archery and the art. The same Hanuman is there in this temple, installed by the same Arjuna, who is to bestow us with all the jayam, the victory in our endeavors, the success in our war towards all the negative, and achieve the victory in us. Tasya sannada shabdena te abhavan bhaya shankita dadurduscha hanumantam sandhya meghamivanotamam. Rama, 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 Rama. Then we come to other few slokas which give us more importance and the glory of Rama and bestow us with Purushartha qualities. Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha. This is the common sloka, I think, known to every one of us, which we recite maybe almost every day, which is, we recite it very normally. If we just go through the meaning of it and understand and chant it, we feel more divine, we feel more bliss in us, and we get the blessings more strongly. Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha. It is like somebody saying, why we should understand and say things, why we should understand and do things, rather than if we even do without understanding, we get the effect of it. Yes, that is true. We get the effect of it. It is something like putting in a layman's example. I can tell you a simple example. Without, if you have some money, right? You have some money, you buy an ambassador, you buy a Etios, or you buy whatever simple vehicle you have. If you have a lottery of millions of money or maybe lakhs of money, then you go for a BMW, which is also a car. Both are cars, but the difference, just like you have a branded shirt, you have a Van Hussein shirt, and you have a normal 300 rupee shirt from the normal store. What is the difference? Both are shirts. True, it is agreed, but a brand is a brand, and a brand which is not a brand also is a shirt, but to its level. So according to the level you get it. If you understand and do things, the resultant effect is more strong and intensity is more. And without understanding, if you do something, also you get an effect. It doesn't say that there is no effect, but it will be a discounted effect. Not that at least you are at least getting an effect, rather than without doing it, where you have no effect at all. That is why understanding and doing, when we can do it easily, why not? We get more effect, we get more bliss, we get more the resultant effect. So let us do it that way from day on towards ahead in our journey every day. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha. It is praising the Rama. It is indicating the japa of Rama. Let us chant Rama 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 Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Rama Chandraya Vedase, all the synonyms of Rama. Raghunathaya Nathaya, in the Raghu's dynasty, Rama Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha, the Lord of Sita. So let us worship Rama along with Sita Mata. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha. Let us have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka, the Yalagureshwara Karnataka temple. It is in Karnataka, as you see, Yalagureshwara. The Yalagureshwara temple in Karnataka is very famous, and it is more in the towards the Vijayapura district of Karnataka. Vijayapura district of Karnataka. And Yalagureshwara is the speaking Hanuman here. It is known as the speaking Hanumantappa. In Karnataka, they call Hanuman as Hanumantappa. You would have heard even that we had a minister in the name of Hanumantappa in earlier days in Karnataka, in the Congress, or I don't know what is the party, but there was a person. The names come, most of the names in India, and the names in India come, most of it related to any legend. And time immemorial, it has been that way, that even without knowing the importance of it, the names are already there. So that at least our elders made us, say the names, call the names, and by calling the names, just like Ajamila calling his son Narayana, but the Lord Narayana himself turned out to come and help him. So this is what happens, and this was a concept instilled by our elders in through generations, and I think which we have to still continue, which will be really good in terms of getting all the God's names in our mouth and chanting every day, even consciously and unconsciously, in the subconscious way also. Knowing and not knowing also, we do it so that we get the effect at least without not getting even the small effect. Right? So the Yalagureshwara temple here, the speaking Hanumantappa in Muddabad Taluk, Vijayapura district in Karnataka, on the banks of the river Krishna, the holy Krishna, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, the great Krishna. And here it is supposed to have been a temple which is Swayambhu, self-installed, in the sense the idols were Swayambhu, and it was consecrated later. Sri Rama is supposed to have ordered Hanuman to get himself installed in 7 places in this Vijayapura nearby districts in Karnataka to guard and protect all the devotees all through these areas in different directions. And that is how the first of them, first of the 7 is Yalagureshwara. Yalagureshwara in Karnataka. Here, I have just written down the names of the 7 places so that If any one of you or all of us get a chance to visit these places, let us take the blessings of these places and also give the blessings to the devotees of Anjaneya from all the places. So it's all near Vijaypura and Bagalkot districts of Karnataka, the 7 places, the first of them being the Yalagureshwara, the other ones being Karwar, Tulasigire. Tulasigire we already had seen in one of the days in the slides. Then Halaguni, Achanur Anjaneya temple, which is very famous. Many of you would have visited Achanur Anjaneya temple, and Govindanath temple and Jungwad temple in Karnataka. These 7 places, the prominent of them, the first of them, Elu Uresh. Elu Uresh. Elu means 7 in Kannada, and Uresh, Uru means place. And later on it became Yala Gureshwara, Yala Uresh. Elu Uresh became Yala Uresh, and speaking Hanumantappa. So beautiful temple of Yala Pureshwara, Yala Gureshwara here in Karnataka. Let us take the blessings of Anjaneya here, which is being maintained by the Madhva Parampara, the Madhvacharya descendants who do the pujas here in the Madhva Parampara Vidhi. Madhvacharya. Most of the temples in Karnataka, as such, is being handled by the pujas are being handled by Madhvacharyas who do it with lot of ritualistic procedures in the right way. Rama Rama Rama. Let us have the beautiful sloka again associated with this temple. Ramaya Rama Bhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitayaha Pataye Namaha. Rama 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 Rama. Let us move to the next sloka here. Namaha Kodanda Hastaya Sandhikrita cha Dandita Kila Dhaityaya Ramaya Pannivarine. Namaha Kodanda Hastaya Sandhikrita cha Dandita Akhila Daityaya. Dandita Akila Daityaya in one word. Dandita Akhila Daityaya Ramaya Pannivarine. I shall do the namaskarams to Lord Rama. Rama, who is wielded, who is having the bow, the divine Kodanda in his hand. Kodanda Kakusta Rama. And make peace with the arrows. Make peace with the arrows, who is the annihilator of the demons, who is the destructor of all the Akhila Daityaya, the demons of the entire universe, who is the remover of all the negative of the universe. Dandita, who punishes them. And Ramaya Pannivarine, who is taking care of the downtrodden people, who takes care of the poor people, who is the savior of the poor people, who is the savior and Janapalaka, who is the Janapalaka for the people. The Janapalaka, the Purushottama Rama, who had a 10,000 and odd years of reign as the Ramarajya in Ayodhya and the surrounding places, the Ramarajya for 10,000 and odd years. Dasha Sahasra Varshani Ramarajya. So, Namaha Kodanda Hastaya Sandhikrita Sharaya cha Dandita Kila Dhaityaya Ramaya Pannivarine. Namaha Kodanda Hastaya Sandhikrita Sharaya cha Dandita Kila Dhaityaya Ramaya Pannivarine. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful temple again associated with this sloka, the Korvaresha temple, Hanuman temple in Halibidu, Karnataka. Again, out of the 7, the Korvareshwara Hanuman temple in Halibidu, Karnataka. Here, in this particular temple, the Korvareshwara temple, here in Korvar, in the Singadi Taluk, again in the Vijaypura district. It is again in the Vijaypura district, consecrated by none other than Sri Vadiraja Tirtha and Vyasaraja in the year by Vadiraja in the year 1535. And Lord Korvaresh, as he is known, Anjaneya here, himself asked him to establish this Vigraha, and which is a Saligrama Shila, the Saligrama Shila of 5 feet and having the left hand towards the waist, holding towards the waist, and the right hand blessing the devotees, and having the Gada, the holy Gada, at his feet. The Korvaresha Hanuman Temple, Saligrama Murti in Vijaypura district. Let us have the blessings of Anjaneya from here and go back to the sloka again. Namaha Kodanda Hastaya Sandhikrita Sharaya Cha. Shara is the arrows. Dandita Kila Daityaya Ramaya Pannivarine. Rama 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 Rama. We'll go to the next sloka here. Yatra yatra raghunada kirtanam tatra tatra kridamastakanchalim bashpavari paripurna lochanam marutim namata rakshasantakam. Here it is bashpavari. It is not vashpavari. It is spelling a print mistake here. It is bashpavari. Bashpa is the tears, the tears, the happy tears, the bhakti tears which come out. Bhashpa vari paripurna lochanam. Lochanam is the eyes. The eyes filled with the devoted tears. Marutim namata rakshasantakam. Such a Anjaneya who had tears filled, they have devoted tears which was filling his eyes. Such a Maruti. Let us do the namaskaram to such a Maruti. Anjaneya was the destroyer of all the Rakshasas, Rakshasantakam. Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam. Where and all Rama's name is chanted, Kirtana of Rama happens. Tatra tatra Krithamasta Kanchalim. There and all, he reaches out. Kritamasta, how he reaches out? With Kritamasta Kanchalim, with the devotion seen him by the folded hands doing namaskaram, with a head bent, bowed down to Rama. Yatra yatra Raghunath, such a Anjaneya who is filled again with tears of devotion in his eyes, fully filled. Purita paripurna lochanam. Such a Maruti, let us, and the Rakshasantaka, let us do namaskaram to him. Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam, tatra tatra Kritamasta Kanchalim, Bhashpavari paripurna lochanam, Marutim namata Rakshasantakam. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful temple again here for this sloka. You can see again another holy temple, the Holy Anjaneya Swami temple in Madur district, in Madur, a place called Madur in the Mandya district of Karnataka again. Again, Anjaneya here is on the banks of the Shimsha river, holy river, and holy is the word in Kannada for river. A river is known as holy. And here it is supposed to have been consecrated, the temple, by Padi Raja and Vyasa Raja together. And construction of the temple structure construction is around 550 years old, but the idol has been there, consecrated by Padi Raja and Vyasa Raja much earlier. And during Vijayanagara kings and the Chola kings who took care of this temple activities in a stronger way thereunto after that. And unique in this temple is that Hanuman extends his two fingers, just like this, the two fingers, which is signifying the Dvaita preaching of Madhva Parampara. Dvaita preaching, the Dvaita philosophy of Madhvacharya and the Parampara. And one hand having the Saugantika flower, the Parijata flower, and representing the Bhima's incident, and a bell in the tail. In the idol, you can see a bell in the tail and a hair knot in the head. And in 2004, the year 2004 and 2011 consequently, a miracle happened where the temple, after all the pujas, was closed in the night, and in the mid of the night, everyone could hear all the drums, the bells, and all ringing, the Shankhanata from inside the sanctum sanctorium. So it was showing the presence of Anjaneya still to date in this particular temple as a live presence of Anjaneya still there in this temple. Blessing all of us with all the victory in our endeavors. The Holy Anjaneya Swami temple in Madur, Mandya district of Karnataka, and beautifully consecrated by none other than Vyasaraja himself. So we have the sloka here again. Yatra yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Tatra Kritamastakанчалим Bashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namatarakshasantakam. Rama 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 Rama. Let us have the final sloka for today, which is a beautiful Tamil sloka, which most of us chant it, which is including all the five elements, the Pancha Bhutas, in one form, where Panchabhuta Swarupa is Anjaneya, who controls all of them. Let all the Panchabhutas inside our body, which is there as the Jataragni, the fluids in our body, the Kaya, everything, all the Panchabhutas in us be controlled and get the Indriya, not Nigraha, in the Indriya Sahana, Indriya control, the equilibrating of our Indriyas to achieve the success in our life. Aindile, Anjile, they say in the colloquial language, Anjile. Anjile means five, and I am just taking it in the literary form. Aindile Vondrai Petran, Aindile Vondrai Tavi, Aindile Vondrarkaha, Arierkaha Inangi, Aindile Vondrai Petra, Anangai Kandayalaruril, Aindile Vondrai Vaitan, Avan Nanmai, Emmai Alittu Kapan. Here you have Emmai Alittu Kapan, that is also a version of it. Nanmai Alittu Kapan is also a version. Nanmai means the goodness to bring in. Aindile Ondrai Petran. Aindile Ondrai Petran, who was born from the Lord Wind, Vayu, Ondrai Petran. Aindile Ondrai Tavi, who rose to catch the sun. This is second Panchabhuta. Aindile Ondrai Tavi. Aindile Vondrarkaha Ariyarkahi Engi. He rose to the skies. That is the second Panchabhuta. So the wind and the sky is second. Ondrai Tavi to catch the sun. Aindile Vondrarkaha. Aindile, out of the five, the next Panchabhuta, Vondrarkaha, who? Ariyarkaha Engi. Ariyar, in the Arya dynasty, who had the Lord Sun as their family deity, that is Rama. Aindile Vondrarkaha, Vondrarana Ariyarkaha Engi. Aindile Vondrai Petran. Aindile Vondrai Petra Anangai Kandru. Aindile Vondrai Petra Anangai. Who is the Anangai? Kandru Ayalaruril, in the neighboring country, that is Sita Mata, who was born out of the earth. The next Prithvi, this is the next Panchabhuta. Aindile Vondrai Vaitan, and he placed another Panchabhuta. What was that? He lit the city of Lanka with the fire in his tail, the fire Agni, the next Panchabhuta. Such an Anjaneya, with all the Panchabhutas in him, in an equilibrated way to control them, where we all have the Panchabhutas in us, which we have to equilibrate now by chanting this by Anjaneya's Kripa every day. And let him bring all the Nanmai, the goodness, and let him protect us. Emmai Alittu Kapan, let him protect us, let him give all the goodness to us. Aindile Anjile Vondrai Petran, Anjile Vondrai Tavi, Anjile Vondraraha, Ariyarka Gengi, Anjile Vondrai Petta, Anangai Kandayalaruril, Anjile Vondrai Vaitan, Avan Emmai Alittu Kapan. This I am reading in the colloquial language, Anjile. In literary language, everyone knows Aindile, they say for, in Tamil for five, number five. So this is what is this sloka, Rama 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 Rama. We have the beautiful temple associated with this particular sloka, which is coming up in Kishkinda. The tallest of the statues is going to be installed and the work is already on. 2023, supposed to be around September, August, September. We have the world's tallest idol, the world's tallest idol, including every idol, even the idol of liberty, everything. Above that, the tallest idol, which is 750 foot in height, a bronze idol of Anjaneya, in none other than the place Kishkinda, the birthplace of Anjaneya, and where the legend of Ramayana had lot of incidents which happened there, the Kishkinda. Rama, 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 Rama. Let us have the beautiful bhajan today. And before that, I would like to say something which a thought process had come in me a few days when we were doing this Sundarakanda. The third or the fourth day, I had a vision and a thought, and I was sharing it with Radhika ji and Neeraja ji, in fact, that why don't we do a workshop which will be to do with Anumana Kshetras in the Vainava Parampara and their importance. Because we know the Divya Deshas 108, most of us would have visited also most of them, and we know the significance of them. Whereas the Anumana Kshetras, which are also equivalent to Divya Deshas, the Anumana, that is comparatively equivalent, why don't we take up those temples and have a travel journey, travelogue through those temples for a few days? This is what was the thought process, but with the cooperation of every one of you, the support, I think we can go ahead with that once you all confirm it to Neerajaji or Radhikaji and whenever you want it. And it will be a training process for me also to go through all these temples and get the blessings for all of us. Rama, 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 let us have the beautiful bhajan today and complete the session of Sundarakanda.
Sita Rakshaka Ramaduta, Sita Rakshaka Ramaduta, Lanka Dagana, Ravana Mardana, Lanka Dagana, Ravana Mardana, Sri Ramadasa, Dayanidhi, Sri Ramadasa, Dayanidhi, Sarvamangala Anjaneya, Sarvamangala Anjaneya, Sita Rakshaka Ramaduta.
Before leaving this session, I would like to remind every one of us that let us not forget to make at least Panaka Nevedyam after completing the Sundarakanda today and offer to Anjaneya, every one of us. Any one of the Nevedyams, especially Panaka Nevedyam. Namaskaram, and see you all again in a different beautiful session which will be organized soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivakumar sir. Before everybody drops off, I'd like to say a few words. Thank you to all who attended the beautiful sessions during the last 9 days. A special thank you to Lata and Krishna Kumar for sponsoring the Sundarakandam sessions and providing everyone an opportunity to learn about the deeds of powerful Lord Hanuman. I want to especially thank Shivakumar sir for enlightening our lives through these sessions. Over the last 9 days, we've been fortunate to immerse ourselves in the teachings of Sundarakandam and receive the blessings of Lord Hanuman through your passionate recital of slokas and making this very relevant to our everyday lives. The Sundarakandam sessions have given us immense energy, confidence, and positive vibes that one can accomplish any tasks through the blessings of Lord Anjaneya. You've been very gracious to share your immersed knowledge and significance of the various temples of Lord Anjaneya. Hopefully in the future, we're all blessed to visit the temples in our lives. Thank you once again, sir. We feel very blessed.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone to give me this opportunity to share a little bit of knowledge of whatever I know to every one of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One more, I also want to say a special thank you to Radhika Rajeshji for spending significant time putting together the slides and delighting us with her beautiful bhajans of Lord Hanuman. She's a disciple of Sudhar Raghunathan. If you get an opportunity to visit the US, you can watch her perform at various events and temples. Thank you once again, Radhika ji and Shivakumar sir.
Thank you, Radhika ji, and thank you everyone for attending and supporting us.
Are you able to hear? Namaskaram.
Yes.
Namaskar, Pandit ji.
Namaskaram.
It was a beautiful journey, sir, for 9 days. We really enjoyed
it. With all the support, of all of you.
Yeah.
It has only been possible with the support of all of you, and really had a good session.
I really
of
thank Lata Krishna Kumar for sharing this. Thank you, Lata.
Thank you, Radhika ji, Lata ji, and Pandit ji.
Thank you, ma. Thank you.
Namaskaram, sir. 9 நாள் ரொம்ப அருமையா இருந்தது. ரொம்ப
Thank you. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். உங்க எல்லாரோட அனுகிரகத்துல நடந்துட்டு I am really happy. Thank you.
தெரியாதெல்லாம் நிறைய தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டோம். எல்லா ஊர்லயும் பார்த்தது ஞாபகமா இருக்கு.
எல்லாமே பகவத் கிருபை, ஆஞ்சநேய கிருபை.
சந்தோஷம்.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
We are
Thank
going
you.
to log out now. Once again, I've no words to thank you. You have really given us a lot of focus and, more devotion in us. And I should really thank you for that.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Radhika ji. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Shivakumar Mama.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, and a
Ellarum
special
support
thank you to Neerija and Sriram for running the very difficult, Zoom conference every day. So you've done a wonderful job. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chitti.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
all. Have a great rest of the day or evening.
Thank you.
All right.
Namaskaram,
Continue
everybody.
recording.
Namaskar.
Namaskaram.
Mama, do you want to stay for a second?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Let me stop the recording.
உங்களுக்கு லேட் ஆயிருக்குமாங்க, அதனால சொன்னேன்.
இல்ல இங்க one
ரெஸ்ட்
second.
எடுங்க. ரொம்ப நன்னா, இன்ஃபேக்ட் ரொம்ப நன்னாவே நீங்க இது பண்ணல. ரொம்ப என்ன அதுக்கு பகவானுக்கு ஒரு என்ன சொல்ல தேங்க்ஸ் உங்களுக்குன்னு சொன்னா